Here are 10 Loki tips I used to win several of Marvel Rivals' biggest tournaments. Tip number 1. It's extremely important as Loki to keep all of your clones up at all times. You can use the UI in-game on the left side to see how much HP your clones have. During fights, I actually look over here quite a lot to make sure I am ready to place a new clone if one of mine is going to perish, and it's just a general good idea to have them both up at the same time, at all times. Each clone that you have copies your damage and healing to a T, so it's really important to have them both down. Tip number 2. Good Loki players are always going to save one charge of their clone for their immortality field. The reason good Loki players do this is so that even if somebody is far away, they're able to place a clone on top of them and save them with their immortality. So no matter how far somebody is away, you can always try and save them.
It's fast.
I'm ready to put on a show.
Oh my god, I didn't get
I've
out.
noticed a lot of bad Loki players will not save this charge, and maybe somebody will get ulted out of their reach, and they're not able to place that immortality field on top of their heads, meaning that person will die. It's a very important way to turn fights as Loki. Tip number 3. It's very important as Loki to keep in mind what compositions you're playing versus, because this will impact where you place your clones. Clone placement versus a Moon Knight is very different than clone placement versus a Black Panther or a Magic. When you're playing versus a Moon Knight, it's very important to keep your clones as far away from you as possible, keeping them on different high grounds or just generally anywhere where their Moon Knight cannot just spam damage into you and break your clones instantly. Whereas versus Black Panther, it's generally advisable to keep them on top of you so you can shoot the Black Panther and get him off of you as quickly as possible. You can also keep one clone kind of far away to teleport to if you're versus a dive composition like BP or Magic or Spider-Man, but I usually opt for the shooting them route. Hela is also another character that I change where I place my clones, keeping them as close to my team as possible because it's really easy if they're just on high ground somewhere for her to just 2-tap them and render them basically useless. So I try to keep them on top of my team. Tip number 4. Lots of times as Loki, you will end up with no cooldowns if nobody has been helping you peel the divers. If you've used both your immortality and your teleport and you still have nowhere to go, my favorite little trick to play as the whimsical Loki player is to just stand still and play clone. I've tricked multiple people this way and they end up just kind of losing you in the game, and it's kind of funny as well. Tip number 5. Another thing you can do is if you're in a 1v1 situation or just having to find a cheeky way to block ultimates, you can actually body block abilities and bullets with your clones. So say a Psylocke goes on you in a small corridor, you can actually place your clone in between yourself and the enemy, and it should absorb some of those bullets for you, giving you more time to actually 1v1 the Psylocke and hopefully get your immortality and teleport cooldowns back. Tip number 6. There's plenty of times in a game where flanking on Loki is actually kind of acceptable. Now, I wouldn't advise this if you have your ults or your team is at a significant ult advantage, but if the enemy team has a lot of ults on you and you need to make something happen, you can actually flank as Loki. I've actually found, especially in lower ranks, that this works extremely well to turn the tides in your favor, if nothing else. So with Loki's invisibility, you can set up somewhere and you can actually place your clones and teleport all while being invisible. So the best thing to do is to set up on a flank somewhere, wait for your team to engage, and then place those clones right on top of an innocent strategist player's head and attempt to 3-shot them. This works extremely well. And I have even done this in scrims versus some very good teams and ended up forcing some support ultimates early for my team. And speaking of ults, it is very important as Loki to be ult tracking. Tip number 7. When you are ult tracking as a strategist player, which this is not Loki specific, but on every character you should be trying to keep track of the enemy team's ults and what that means for you. There's a couple ultimates that you need to have a clone set up to teleport away for. Ultimates like Clobber, Eye of Agamotto, Storm's ultimate. It's all very important that you have a clone set up somewhere far away that the enemy team cannot shoot, that you can teleport to. And also, it's important to keep in mind that you can teleport through walls. So if you want to have a clone set up towards your spawn and you don't necessarily have line of sight of it, that's totally okay. You can TP through the wall. Now, it's really important to do this only when the enemy team has massive ult advantage, because you don't want to play a neutral fight down a clone. Remember at the very start where I was talking about how it's very important to have clone uptime? Well, this also applies. Tip number 8. This one we're actually going to dive into Loki's settings, and you can actually see that for Loki's ultimate, there is a confirmation checkmark. Now, I definitely advise turning this on, as it will let you confirm who you want to copy for Loki's ultimate, making it a very powerful tool. There's plenty of times where I try to copy and miss, and this can really screw up an entire fight for your team. So it's really important to have confirmation on, so you make sure you copy the right person. Tip number 9. Loki's primary fire is splash healing, okay? I'm gonna say it again, splash healing, which means that if you're trying to help any of your DPS, you can tell them to play on walls, and it'll be a lot easier for you to actually land those shots and help them. It also means too that you can aim a little bit lower than you would on like Luna or Sue, and get that splash healing towards their feet in case you missed the direct hit. Loki is a projectile, so it is very beneficial to take use of this splash healing as much as you can. Tip number 10, and arguably our most important tip for Loki, is staying alive. It is very important to prioritize your life over anything as a strategist player, and increasing your uptime as much as possible. There are times where you need to play aggressive and push hard with your team and push your advantages, but most of the time your job as strategist is to sit back and be consistent. Thank you so much for watching. This is Aramori. If you want more videos like this, leave a comment on what hero I should do next, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys!